Are you experiencing teenage angst? Would you like to kill your mother?
Here's how to get away with it. All right. Welcome back to
How to get away with murder?
With Two Vets and Two Mics attached.
Oh boy.
What episode? 23? 23. Sure. Fuck it. Let's go with that. Whatever
Is it
episode this
23?
is. Yeah,
I
pretty
guess
sure.
It depends if the other one is a part 2.
I mean, it is a part 2, but it's still a whole...
Just go back and edit the titles and get rid of the part 1.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll blame Ethan.
We'll just go in and edit out the portions where we out loud say, this is part 1, this is part 2.
Nobody makes it that far anyways.
This is also very true.
This is about as far as they'll get. And then,
Yep.
unless they're trying to figure out how to kill their mom.
Or homeless people, which is my suggestion.
What's this thing?
What, that metal thing?
Yeah.
It's another stand thing. You can also attach a camera to it, and that way it tracks. But I just set it up because it was in the way.
Of course.
Yeah. We can also put dildos on it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty versatile. But yes, welcome back.
Today's topic, mass murders. Serial killers, specifically.
Specifically serial killers. We were just talking about off camera before we started serial killers and stuff like that. So in one of the upcoming episodes, I'll talk about a serial killer that I just discovered. Very little about, like a quick blurb that I think is interesting. I'll cover that. I'll talk about that for the next episode. But for this one, we were like, it is so easy to be a serial killer. Like it's just so new. So and that derived from finding out that New York has the most serial killers with 18.
The most born there.
Yeah, the most born there, not 18 that are currently active. I feel like that would be an oversaturated market. I wouldn't even want to be a serial killer. I'd be like, there's 18 others to compete with. But yeah, so it's New York has 18, California with 15, and then Texas has 8. Illinois and Ohio both have 7. And so we were saying how it makes sense. Texas has 8, right? Texas is huge. That's a pretty good ratio. But Illinois and Ohio, like what the fuck? There's like 12 people there, and 7 of them have been serial killers.
One of them's a horse.
Yeah, they're not even completely full-on people. But yeah, being a serial killer, in my opinion, I think it would be easy. It blows my mind that I think serial killers get caught because they get too specific. Like they all have a thing. Like with Ted Bundy was like chicks that look like his ex-girlfriend.
Mm.
Right? Like, and then John Wayne Gacy, who did that weird clown thing.
And then being born in New York.
Yeah, being born in New York.
Stop being born in New York.
Stop being born there. First, yeah, you got to go to like Alabama.
You can move to New York and then kill people.
You just got to be born somewhere else. But yeah, it's I think that's what it is they got bogged down with like a type. And they all have the same gimmick. Like Ted Bundy's gimmick was he was a handsome guy and he would always fake like an injury. And he was like, "Oh, my arm is broken. Can you help me with these books? Or my leg is broken. Can you?" And he had like a fake cast on. And then these nice young women would be like, "Oh, sure, let me help you."
Are you saying?
And then he'd fucking bash him over the head and throw him in his VW Bug.
Are you saying that generally the consensus was Ted Bundy was handsome, or that you think he's handsome?
No, that's the consensus is that he was, that he is.
Are you denying that he's handsome?
I'm denying it. I don't think he is. But like, I think for the time period, he was considered a handsome man. I think in today's standards, you'd be like, this dude looks.
He's a fucking creep.
He's a what?
He's a fucking creep.
Yeah. By today's standards, you're like, this dude looks like a creep.
Could they get away with it now? Like that same scheme?
I think so. I don't think get away with it necessarily. I think.
Yeah, not get away, but like it would work.
I think no. You know what? I think it would work way less. Just with the way news travels and how quickly it does. his MO would be exposed way faster.
That would be so shitty for like people who are actually broken or something.
Yeah. People that actually have like an ailment and need help.
They're like, "Oh, help me get down this one step."
Not today, serial killer.
I saw the news.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna stand up from that wheelchair and rape me.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no legs. How do I know
I'm
that?
literally an amputee.
You can see my stubs.
Yeah.
The little nubs just.
Yeah, I don't think that they would be able to get away with it or do as much damage, if not even more damage, by today's like standards. I guess I think if they were to switch it up and make it a lot more random, if their thing was I just get off on murder, that would be way harder to track, as opposed to like I get off on murder, but a very specific type of like young blonde or specific male body type, like because all these serial killers, they have like a type, they have a trend, like you can, and that's how they get caught, is they follow the motive, the MO, and they get fucking caught. So yeah, I don't think they would do too hot now.
What is MO?
We all method of operation. Yeah.
Always knew what it meant. I never knew what it stood for.
Yeah, it's their method of operating. So it's like, their thing, their niche. I have a tia named Nietzsche. Anyways, it's not even my aunt. It's my mom's aunt. Yeah. I think if you wanted to be a serial killer today, you had to be complete. You'd have to be all inclusive. You'd have to just anyone is a victim. Anyone is, potentially a victim. It can't be like I only target, transgender people or a specific race or a specific gender or a specific, people with specific ideologies. You have to be an equal opportunity serial killer. And I think that's probably the best way for you to get away with it.
And different types of different murder weapons.
Yeah, you have to change it up, or always use an ice pick. Or not an ice pick, sorry, an icicle. Because then the murder weapon melts away. Best murder weapon there is. The kind that goes away on its own.
You don't think they would know that an icicle was used?
I mean, I think it would take them a second to put it together.
Well, then after that, you can't use it, because then they'll know that this guy...
Just look for a guy driving a raspa truck.
Yeah.
It's got to be him.
Unless you live in the cold Montana.
Yeah.
The icicle killer strikes again.
Only strikes in the winter.
They have long winters. This one dude's house just like farming icicles.
But then those people would then, living in like Montana, they would become like Game of Thrones every year. They'd be like, winter is coming. We must prepare for winter. Yeah, they would all be paranoid as fuck. But yeah, I think eventually once they catch on to what the weapon is, then you got to switch it up. Maybe turn to arson, start burning some people alive. And like the thing, another thing that those serial killers always got caught is they would fuck up and people would live. You gotta make sure people die.
How do you fuck that up?
You got that's like your thing. How are you fucking it up? But yeah, they would like attack somebody and like the victim would get away, and now it's like how, like to me, I think about it and I'm like, that is so, that it's like a movie. You know what I mean? Like when they're chasing somebody in a movie and then the person runs out of a building and then the person chasing them also exits the building and then they just look around they're like, oh, what do you go? You're not that far behind. It's the same concept with serial killer. Like they hit a woman and she wakes up and then she like hits him a little bit and he's just like, oh no.
Owie.
Yeah. Oh, rats. She got away. Great. And don't use your real name like Ted Bundy's dumbass. You believe this dude was introducing himself as Ted? Hi, my name is Ted. In front of witnesses before he would abduct somebody. Fucking stupid. Anyways, you can't discriminate on time of day either. In other words, you got to be completely fucking random with your serial killing. Your thing has to be, I just like killing. I don't care who it is. I just like killing. If you bog yourself down with like any specific detail, whether it's like, I can only kill at night in alleyways, you're going to get caught. I can only kill during the day.
Batman's going to find you.
Yeah, like you're going to get caught. You got to be totally fucking random about it.
What if you just wait to get the title serial killer? You just get your 3 kills.
Yeah, get your 3 kills and
then you just
done.
stop.
And then log out.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you wouldn't be a prolific serial killer. And if they're 3 completely random types of killings, they're not even going to be attributed to the same person.
They will if you kill them all in the same household. Just go to some random small town in Idaho.
Go to an orphanage. Orphanages.
Leave.
You would
throw a
dual
grenade
wield
in
it?
there. No, I'm liable to miss the left-handed one.
If you
Then you got to kill everyone who saw.
Yeah.
Make a pipe bomb. Blow up
But
the orphanage.
Here's the thing. Unless you already just inherently have the knowledge of how to make a pipe bomb, you're going to have to look that up. That's how you get caught.
Look it up right now because you can just attribute it to this video.
Yeah, exactly.
Years from now.
And then in a decade from now, do it.
In a different state.
Unless you were born in Texas or New York or California or Illinois or Ohio.
That's true.
If you had to,
Texas could use more serial killers.
Yeah, we could. If you, well, here's the thing though. I don't think you're dubbed a serial killer if you kill 3 people in the same household.
Damn.
Has to be 3 separate people.
They up in the standards.
Yeah, it's getting real specific now. Because there's a guy from like Laredo that went in. He was a kid when this happened. He broke in and he bludgeoned like 4 or 5 people to death. And he's not labeled a serial killer, just a mass murderer. Which is like
all that hard work.
Which is like if you're going for the title serial killer and then that happens to you, you're like, fuck, I got caught before I could even. So I think you have to space them out. Which again, but then we run into the problem of if they're too random of kill, like if the 3 kills are so totally random that there's no way to connect them to each other. There's no way that you're going to be deemed a serial killer. You're going to have to get 16, 20 kills before they're like, all these random killings have to be a part, like they have to be the same thing.
Or you don't need them to give you the title, as long as you know.
Leave a calling card.
But not like a actual calling card, like something super random.
Yeah, like the Zodiac killer had the little Zodiac symbol.
More random.
Yeah, more random than that. But like you want to be prolific, like Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper was never caught.
Go into your junk drawer. Pick out something that stands out and get a bunch of those.
Oh, I got it. Oh, no, you'll get caught. Because then they'll just be like, just start. I was going to say, just leave like a Monopoly piece. And then they'll be like, he didn't pass go. But then they're going to start just tracking people that buy Monopoly games. What's a good random thing to leave at every...
Like a roll of Scotch tape. Just leave it on their chest.
No, because here's how you fuck it up with a roll of Scotch tape. Your fingerprints would get on the sides of it.
Brand new rolls. You just open it from the packaging, and you just drop it in. More random. Precisely 6 ounces of watermelon flavored Monster.
In a vial. Leave semen at the scene. That's always how people get caught.
So yeah, it's a surefire way to get caught.
Leave dog semen at every scene. It was a wolf man, Your Honor.
Leave a quart of horse semen.
Oh, a whole quart?
How did what if the horse was the killer? Wear horseshoes and kick them to death. But you gotta donkey kick them, so you gotta strap them down.
They're gonna be like, there is no way that this was a horse or a donkey. I mean, we know that the bruises are horseshoe shaped, but there was just not enough power.
Okay, put a horseshoe at the end of a baseball bat and whack.
Get a horse. Sit the person down.
Just get a horse.
Sit the person down behind the horse and just slap the horse in the ass and let him kick the person.
You might die.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a chance. But then they're just going to be like, this guy was also a victim.
Donkey might work.
Yeah,
donkey might be easier to acquire than a horse.
In Mexico. You know how many fucking donkeys I've seen here?
That's true.
I've seen like 4 donkeys in my life. And I'm pretty sure 2 of those donkeys were actually the same donkey. El burro es grande.
One time we went to vacation in Mexico, they had like horse riding things for kids.
They're like, these are miniature horses.
And they had donkeys. No, they had horses, but they also had donkeys.
I once did my aunt and uncle, they had a horse, and then they had a miniature horse, also known as a pony, which I always used to think ponies were baby horses. I didn't know that ponies are their own thing. I didn't know that.
They're not like...
No, like it's not going to get bigger than what it is.
No, but like, are they... Do they come from horses or are they their own family?
They're their own family. They come from other ponies.
Oh, I thought they were like intentionally made like midgets.
Yeah, no. They're not the dwarfs of horses. They're just their own thing. But anyways, my younger brother, Carlos, I remember he was on a horse or on the pony. And he has a weird fear of animals. Like he's terrified of birds. He's petrified of birds. It's hilarious. And I remember he was a little nervous about getting on the pony. But not to say that he wouldn't have gotten on. He definitely would have. But I also wanted to get on again, and so I used that to my advantage. And I was like, "Oh, I'll get on with him. And the pony did not like that, and fucking bucked both of us off. Almost kicked me in the fucking head. I was almost murdered by a pony, which would have been very. But then the pony probably would have stomped around and killed my brother, and would have been one shy of a serial killer. Would have almost been a serial killer pony. What were we talking about? What were we saying about serial killers? It's easy.
How come animals don't get the title serial killer?
Because they're animals. They're not like...
They earned it.
Yeah, but they're not like consciously doing it. They're not being elaborate or planning or anything like that.
How do you know?
Like, okay, if you had to be if you were a serial killer, and we're not saying that you're not.
Camera tripod serial killer.
What's that?
Just whack him to death with a camera tripod.
Well, okay. Would that actually... Okay, but no. But for real, what would be your MO? What would be your thing if you were a serial killer? And let's jazz it up and say we're like in the 70s. So not a lot of, CCTV cameras up, or not any, to be honest there. I don't think there was any back then. Like, if you were a serial killer back in the 70s, what would be your thing? Like your MO?
Kill people with gold teeth and then pull them out. And they're like, this dude had a gold tooth and it's missing. It's our guy.
Wait, what? You're just like going to collect these teeth, or are you going to cash them in?
I'm going to cash them in at some point.
That's it. Like, you got to put them in like here's the thing. You could never cash those in.
Just melt them.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could melt them. I was going to say, you got to save them for family.
Just use them on somebody else.
Forming generational wealth through the teeth of others. I think if I were a serial killer back in the 70s, I would be obsessed with becoming famous.
Famous?
Yeah, like for serial killing. Like that would be my thing. I'd be like I want this on the fucking news. I want to toy with the investigators. I want to be a fucking major prick about this whole thing. I think I would I would hang the men of households. I think that would be my thing. Like almost like lynching them, if you will. But like it hang the men and then and set their houses ablaze. I don't know. I'm just thinking of whatever would be like the most jaw-dropping thing.
Take only uncircumcised men and then
Oh.
circumcise them after their death.
Or knock men out and then put them in a hole only up to their neck and bury them, and then just cover the head with like a bucket
And then
and just
just
let them die.
beat the bucket excessively. Like
Or put a rat in the bucket over the head, and then heat up the bucket. Let the rat go crazy on the dude.
Wait, I saw that one in Game of Thrones.
With a what?
Yeah.
I saw it in a movie. I don't remember what movie it is, where they put a bucket on a dude's stomach with a rat in it.
That's
and then-
exactly what I saw.
That's not on Game of Thrones.
I just saw it.
That's
like
not on Game of
last week.
Thrones.
I promise you it is.
No
'Cause
way.
I just saw it.
I've seen
We're
that
watching
show.
it again. I just saw it.
What episode?
I don't know.
Wait, pull it up.
It's
You
in
gotta show me.
season 2. I can find it for you.
After this, I want to see it.
But yeah,
I
they
just don't remember that.
they strap him to a chair, then they strap the rat with the bucket onto them, and then they heat up the bucket.
How'd they heat up the bucket?
A torch.
Like a. This is very reminiscent of the thing that I saw, because the one that I saw was they put a bucket on this dude's on a fat dude's stomach, and then they use a blowtorch to heat it up, and the guy's like monologuing, and he's like, "Do you know what happens? Blah blah. Like a rat's got nowhere to go. Eventually, it'll find the soft spot or whatever, and starts eating the guy."
They did it multiple times.
Actually, you know what? I think this was in the movie Blade. Yeah, I saw this in the movie Blade.
So it's a vampire slayer?
Huh? No, I mean, it was a regular guy. It wasn't a vampire that they were doing it to.
No, but is this the movie about the vampire slayer?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
You've watched Twilight, but not Blade?
I've watched Twilight multiple times.
But never any of the trilogy, the Blade trilogy. Yeah. Well, that would be my thing. That would be my MO. Bury dudes, neck deep, and let a rat eat them, and then just leave taunting
You
messages.
don't think the rat would just dig?
Well, no. Like I wouldn't.
You go through his mouth?
I wouldn't heat the bucket up. I would just place something heavy so that the rat can't just bash the bucket off, and that way the rat gets hungry, and will just eat him.
What if the dude gets hungry and he eats the rat?
Fucking genius. He deserves it.
You're like, you know what? You get to live,
You get
bro.
to live. That was pretty good.
I'm gonna just knock you
Or-
unconscious.
Or you're. I mean, that's a good point. That's actually a very good point. And then I'd fall into the own trap of letting victims survive. So, you're right. Bury them neck deep. And then, oh fuck it. Let's just go for gruesome. Bury them neck deep. Lop their fucking head off. And then just leave the head there, under a bucket. I'm keeping the bucket. The bucket stays in the plan. That way, they find the head. Those first couple kills, they're not going to think to dig. But then eventually, they're going to catch on. They're going to go back to where all the victims were found, and they're going to realize, holy shit, all these guys were buried neck fucking deep before their heads were cut off.
You want gruesome? Sit them down, cut their head off as cleanly as you can, and then like instantly grab their head and face it towards their body so they can see themselves the last few seconds.
Or bury them neck deep. Look, I'm really liking this aspect of the planet. Bury them neck deep, set their head on fire, and then just, Bob's your uncle. There you go.
Oh, you bury their torso and you strap a rat to their bottom half, and then the rat goes up their butt.
It's actually not a terrible idea.
Or the belly button, like the one from the Matrix.
Oh, like the little worm thing?
Yeah.
That was or whatever the fuck it was? Yeah.
That was scary. That thing gave me nightmares.
That did give me nightmares. That was pretty well done. Damn. You know what? This is probably why I wouldn't be a good serial killer, is I'm too conflicted. I'm too conflicted with how I would go about this. if you were a serial killer today, modern day, you have all this tech that's out and available. Everyone's always recording everything. How would you go about it? Because now it's a totally different ballgame. You can't just, fucking kidnap somebody in the middle of nowhere because odds are there's a camera that's going to catch you.
Just watch the series You.
Yeah, but honestly, I haven't finished it. The most recent season was very, 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 very boring, where he's in London or whatever. But I mean, he wasn't trying to be a serial killer. And to be fair, he was sloppy as all fuck. I mean, the whole thing is him just getting extremely lucky the entire show. Like the first kill makes sense why he got away with it. But then after that, it's like, what? You don't remember the first one?
I don't remember the first season.
First season was good. It was the best season.
What was the first kill?
The Beck, I think was her name.
He killed her?
Yeah.
He killed her first.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe he killed for her.
Yeah. Because she discovered, well, maybe she wasn't his first kill, but she was the main kill. She discovered this crazy shit about him, and then he traps her in that glass enclosure. And then he kills her, and then I guess he ghostwrites for her, like a fucking book, where I don't know. He ghostwrites a book, and it becomes like a bestseller or something. It was pretty fucking crazy. But yeah. I wouldn't make a good serial killer today, I think.
We just don't have the motivation for it.
Yeah, or
like if I had to kill, I would kill, but there would be no MO. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is there's no inherent need for it. You know what I mean? There's no oh yeah, I could totally see myself I can't. I just can't. I'm also lazy.
Just kill the homeless.
I do know though that if I ever had to get rid of a body, big old fucking barrel of acid.
But where do you get that?
You make it. It's hydrochloric acid.
You could buy that much without being
being flagged.
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably can't buy that much, but little at a time.
What do you use hydrochloric acid for, other than
disintegrating bodies?
Yeah. Is it like a pool cleaner?
That's a very good question.
Because
I'm afraid to look it up. I think I know it's used a lot in the science community. I know that because that's where we learned about it was chemistry. And we used it for other solutions. So I don't know what its base purpose is. I think they use it also to test types of metal because different metals corrode differently, at different rates.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
See how long it takes the FBI to show up.
Watch, and then my TikTok now is going to be just murders. There's going to be a bunch of serial killers going live. What's it say? No.
There's 3 main ones.
Ooh.
One is for neutralizing alkaline agents.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I don't really know what that means. And then these ones are more to clean shit like concrete, metal, and toilet. It's like an ingredient in those cleaners. And it says pickling, but it it means to remove rust and shit, like clean metal.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say if they're using that to pickle stuff, I'm gonna be very pissed because I love pickled eggs, and so that explains why the batch I made didn't taste that right.
This is probably because it says the main one is cleaning tiles and kitchen and bathroom and shit like that. That's
So
why
it's
they
an
say
ingredient in.
Yeah.
Okay, but its base purpose itself, we don't necessarily whatever the fuck that first one was.
Well, by itself, it's probably not used for much.
Unless you're disintegrating bodies.
Bleaching clothes.
Yeah. That would be my way of doing it. Is body in a barrel. Pour that in, let it disintegrate. Although the tricky part is now disposing of the barrel.
Just drink it.
Genius. I like it.
Probably smells like ass too.
I feel like really that's probably the best option if you live near an ocean. Put that barrel in your boat, go out to the ocean, just uncap it and tip it over. But then if they ever test your boat, they're gonna see like blood residue on the side and stuff. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a great way to fucking do this. Burning isn't an option because people smell terrible when they're burned. You ever burn your hand? I know you have. You've burned your hand, but like it smells terrible, right? Like the hair, it's a very distinct smell.
I don't remember it.
So burning's not an option. Acid stuff but then how do you get rid of the acid?
Where would
goop?
you even do it?
Here, right here, right there.
Is everybody in this household in on it?
It's a good question. I don't think so. I feel like Polly would rat on me so fast. I don't think anybody in my family is ride or die like that. I am though. I'm ride or die.
I just don't care.
Like if Polly showed up and was like, "Hey, I fucking murdered somebody," be like, "All right, let's fucking take care of this."
Hell yeah!
I got you, fam.
Some action.
Yeah, good thing I did all that research 10 years ago. What about you? So if Rita showed up and was like, "Mikey, I've murdered somebody," what's your what do you do? Are you gonna be like, "Hey, well, you got to turn yourself in," or are you like?
I'll just be like, "Bro, I'm not having a good day. Could you just like
put him in the dumpster?
Rewind like a minute. Just like go be weird somewhere else. I'll just pretend like you didn't say anything to me. Go away."
So you would be like, all right, we'll take care of it. But if you get caught, you never told me. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything, but
I can already picture like I'm over here playing video games and she comes in. She's like, "I killed somebody." I'm like,
what? You do anything to get me off this game.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you're running out of ideas.
There's this little thing called hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
Just go to the pool cleaner guy.
Call Julian. He's got a whole plan. Would you call the cops on me if I ever called you up and I was like,
"Bro, I would give you the same reaction." I'd be like, "Oh my God, bro.
What if I was
it's
like,
too hot in here for me to give a fuck."
Yeah, but what if I'm like, "Hey, like, can you come help me?" He's a big guy. I can't carry him by myself. You just help me put him in the barrel?
I'd be like, "Well, you already called me, so I'm already implicated as much. So I might as well do it right."
Yeah, I'll bring a saw. Yeah, I'm a ride or die. There's like there are very few people that if they told me they murdered somebody, I would snitch on them. Very few people I would actually snitch on if they did that. I'm always prepared. I'm always like, whenever I get random phone calls in the middle of the night from like my sister or any other relative, I'm always like, I hope this is the call. I hope this is the I've murdered somebody and I need help phone call. Never is.
It doesn't have to be that bad. Just like something that'll be like, I own you for the rest of your life now.
Yeah. Anytime I need anything, you owe me now. Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't think I would be able to blackmailing something like that. I feel like it's so double-edged because eventually that person will get tired and just be like, "Well, fucking tell then. You're implicated too because you've known this long."
Yeah.
So it could very easily.
Joke's on you. I'm a die or die.
Yeah. Joke's on you. I hate my life. Die or die. Yeah. I feel like I'd be too paranoid to tell anybody. to like bring anybody into the fold. But I'd be dying to tell somebody. I'd be like,
Like if you killed somebody I didn't know, I genuinely just wouldn't care.
What if you do? What if it was somebody you knew?
Do I care about them?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't care about anybody. So,
Well, there you go.
did you kill me?
Well, even if I did, you wouldn't care.
Exactly.
You'd be dead.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I had the same conversation with my therapist. I'm on watch now.
And be like, what if I killed you and then myself? And then what? Who would care?
Murder suicide, best kind of suicide. That's not true.
I'll line up both of our heads, one bullet.
Man, how great would it have been to have lived in like the medieval times? Imagine how many fucking serial killers there were and just murderers. Like, because and how many dudes were just murdering their wives? Because like divorce wasn't a thing. I mean, you could just fucking leave and just never come back. But like, if you're like, I really like this town, and then you just choke her to death,
Like, oh, she tripped.
and then just like, the winter took her.
And
It
the
was the
doctor
flu.
guy comes by and he's like, what you got for me? And he's like, I got these chickens for you if you say she died of
Not even
illness.
because the fucking doctors were just like, you were saying she had the flu.
Oh, our doctors are
Yeah.
men too, so it's not
Yeah,
like
and he's just like, okay, she had the flu. Gotcha.
flu's been killing a lot around here lately.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, that's why I don't trust the flu numbers from back then. Back
What-
then when they were like, oh man, the flu is such a deadly, not a lot of people die from the flu this year or this day and age, but back then, lots of bitches were dying of that shit.
yeah, you heard
Yeah.
of the bubonic plague?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called These Hands.
That's gotta be so crazy. Imagine just back then, just like, I'm done. I don't want to be
Yeah.
fucking, all right.
They just chalk it up to women having weaker immune systems.
Yeah. Yeah. Or not like, oh, she choked on a dog bone. We were eating a dog because we're poor. Because everyone's poor. So she choked on a bone.
It's true.
And honestly, would anybody even question it if she just went missing? It was like she fucking ran off in the middle of the night.
Her two girlfriends who are also getting severely abused.
Yep. And then you're just free to fucking move on and nobody cares. You're just like, yeah, by the way, this is my girlfriend. And you're like, dude, your wife just died today. Yeah, well, I'm a man. Got to move on. And they're like, yep, that makes sense.
Gotta pay the bills.
Makes perfect sense.
In the movie Tombstone.
Oh, don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
I've never seen it, which is
Well,
crazy because I really want to watch it. I mean, and you know what? It's my fault. Go ahead. It's my fault because I should have seen it. It's an old movie.
no, I'm not. It's not spoiling anything. It's just like in those times, back when like everybody used to walk around with a revolver or two. It was just like people got into an argument, and one dude would touch his gun, and they'd be like, "All right, we're doing this," and the marshal's just there looking at him like, "All right, whichever one of you draws first, you're at fault, and if you die, it's a fair kill." And it's like, all right, everybody, go back to your thing. This was a fair kill, all right.
Yeah,
But if you win, now you're in jail. So just don't draw first.
Well, that's still kind of is a thing here in Texas. I don't know if you know that. Mutual combat is allowed. That's perfectly legal here in Texas. You can't use deadly force and you can't use weapons. So, like, let's say if we're out in the street and there's a cop, we would walk up to the cop and say, hey, we both agreed to mutual combat.
He's like, all right, yep, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, legally the cop can't intervene unless it gets to the point where you're gonna kill the person, right? Like if I'm about to curb stomp you or curb stomp anybody, or vice versa, the cop would have to intervene because now it's deadly force. But if it's just, hey, we both agreed mutual combat, we're gonna duke it out, we have a problem.
Well, this
That's
isn't
perfectly fine.
mutual
That's
combat. This is
perfectly
like
legal.
somebody was really drunk. He got mad that he sucks at poker, and now he wants to kill the dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's gonna be the one.
I mean, technically, I guess that would still be considered mutual combat in a sense, but I get what you're saying. Okay, but at least here in Texas is what I mean.
it's more
It's
like
allowed.
he says it's fair because it's self-defense. It's like you never meant to kill anyone, but this drunk dude pulled a gun on you.
Yeah.
You're just faster
Yeah. And not drunk.
and sober, yeah. So we just go out there, tell a cop, you know, we're going to take 21 paces, walk away from each other, and then draw.
That's got to be the ultimate way to keep people from being total fucking assholes on the daily. Like, if everybody walked around with a revolver, you wouldn't have any Karens.
They'd be dead.
Yeah. Every time a Karen just fucking starts, you want to take your paces or you want to fucking walk? You want to walk out of here?
Yeah, because you don't know how good this person is.
I wouldn't have made it in the Old West.
They could be the quiet people.
I don't think I would have made it to 30.
I mean, a lot of people didn't make it to 30.
That's true. That's true.
And
My
it
wife wouldn't have made it to 30 either.
No, one,
Yeah.
especially
the flu
woman.
got her.
Second wife, too.
Yeah, this guy's been married 6 times. We're running out of women in this town, son.
Third one actually just had cancer, but
Yeah, but the flu got her before the cancer did. Damn, these bitches getting the flu in the summer. Got that summer flu. All right, well, that's our fucking murder episode. I think we killed it. Yep, I did a pun. Oh, well. Peace.
I'm your Huckleberry.